And you're on the
Punch
punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
That sound just jumped up.
What's up, y'all?
What's up? That sound just jumped up on me.
I'll tell you, the one thing I noticed since we were doing the show like we were,
Yeah.
I need to get one of those fucking
Dude,
phone holders.
I fucking wore green today.
You're a ghost.
I wore green today.
It's pretty cool.
No.
How the fuck do you wear green to the podcast, man? Jesus Christ. Perfect. See, you came prepared.
Ah, there he goes.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
The Ringer. Where the fuck did we get ice cream?
Great.
Best line ever, man. I fucking love that shit.
Dude, that was the best movie ever. I was just taking the boys to get some ice cream. When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Yeah, it's great.
Darren's watching. Lennox McFadden's watching. When the fuck did we get ice cream, Kelly?
I don't know. When the fuck did we get ice cream?
We're gonna go get beer.
All right.
Oh,
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Uncle Sham says, Baranchuk fight was insane.
It was amazing.
It was.
It was. But you know what? I'm not bragging, but I've been up on Zepeda for a long time. I said Chon was a really good fighter. I said, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I picked him to beat Barnachek. I said that Zepeda was just a good fighter. He just hasn't got over that hill. You know what I mean? There's that hill you got to climb, and he's like right at the top of it. Then you need that championship hill. He's kind of like the number one contender, and he's kind of just get over that hill. And I think he may have got to the top of it now.
Great fight. Definitely fight of the year right now. Trent says Baranchuk Zepeda fight of the decade so far. I don't know about decade. Here's my reasoning on it. Boy, I may get people saying I'm being picky. It was a fucking amazing fight. They went at it. They went back and forth.
Yeah.
But it was just a little sloppy. Even more so sloppier than Agati Ward.
That was pretty sloppy too.
Yeah, and why I say that is because I kind of compare it like, all right, Castillo, Diego Corrales, probably one of the greatest fights of this decade.
Yeah.
And it was more tactical and like boxing. Agati Ward was kind of like watching a smoker. I mean, they were still tactical fighters. Don't get me wrong. And this one was, I think, even a little worse than.
What about Brera Morales for technique, though?
Oh yeah, that's the difference too. But with that being said, okay, that's like the one kid Baranchuk got dropped.
Yeah.
He threw a punch and Zepeda threw an uppercut from the front, and he landed it perfectly and caught him right on the chin. From being sloppy and all over the place. Great fight nonetheless, though. I'm not arguing that. It was definitely a fight of.
It was. You know what? We needed that because there's been some shit fights over the past couple months.
Oh, it was definitely had you on edge. Great fight.
So we got a lot of stuff coming. We got some big fights coming up October 31st. I think there was a venue change for Tank and Rio's now San Antonio on October 31st.
Yeah.
We got to make that one. Halloween.
I was looking to see on that. Did they say Loma?
I don't know. I think Loma has a venue change, but I'm not sure.
No, yeah, he's in Vegas,
so, right?
Yeah.
I don't even have people to fight yet, are they?
Yeah, he said we're only 10.
What's up, Derek?
Trent says we're only 10 months into this new decade. True. Baranchuk got dropped 3 times with the same counter left hand when Baranchuk missed lead left hook.
Zepeda, it was Zepeda. I remember when he was worked, like, Rudy had worked with him, and then Robert Alcazar had worked with him. I used to see him spar guys like Rustom Nagaev. Mm-hmm. When he sparred those guys, I always remember, like, Zepeda, his timing's not like everyone else's timing. Like, he throws the 2, and then it kind of stutters, and then did you notice it kind of stutters and it comes?
He comes, and that left is nice, too. It's so awkward. Like, he keeps behind that elbow on that.
What's up, Brian?
It's not really a straight.
No, it's off. The timing's off, and I think that might make him a little better.
Yeah.
Here's my fuck.
Tell them we can keep it down there.
Just take the keys.
We're gonna leave.
Okay.
All right. Trent Non-Farrell he says, Inoue Donaire, Pavlik Miranda was higher level than Baranchuk Zepeda.
Inoue Donaire was a great fight.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. It was a little more tactical. And again, not knocking it. It was a great great fight.
What's up, Malachi Esteban?
Definitely the best I've seen, and probably the best fight in the last 4 years.
Really? Better than Nonito and anyway?
As far as action,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like, you know, the drama, the each fighter getting dropped.
B said his timing and footwork is what beat Bergeron. I agree. And B, I was just saying that too. Something with his timing, it's not like standard. Like he doesn't have this releasable two or this releasable one. It kind of stutters or it slows down and it opens up again. And I think it throws a lot of fighters off. Because there's nothing that Zepeda does super well. Like there's nothing that doesn't stand out.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's not a super slick. He's not super fast. He's not super powerful. But that's why he's at where he's at, is because he has those little things that he adds in there. You know, I want to talk about something.
What's
after
up,
this.
Damon?
There was actually, I think it was on one of the boxing groups, the few that I'm in now on a new page.
Yeah.
It was a good point brought up about volume punchers. And all right, Uncle Sham says Gervonta is getting sued by a jeweler for giving them a bounce check for $500,000 and walking off with the bling. Yes, did he do that?
I don't know.
Was it on the news?
I haven't
or
read anything.
I haven't read anything either. I'm sure we would.
Yeah, well, even so, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's between them and their accountant, or whoever's locking them up.
Yeah, right.
But it does happen in the sport. I mean, a lot of bounce checks go around. You know what I mean?
My question is, how do you still get it? I mean, don't they make sure something like that clears?
Dude, don't they check your credit when you like go into a place like that? Like, don't they run your credit before they would even take a check?
I will, Uncle Sham.
Because you know what,
Yeah, they should.
At one time, me and my wife went to Coach, right? And I said, yeah, you can get a purse, whatever. I'm getting this purse. And before we put this on credit, they ran my credit. They actually ran my credit report before they even financed it.
Yeah, I think anything like over $3,000, they do that.
Yeah.
Let alone a $500,000 piece of jewelry. Shame on them if you know what, Gervonta should be able to keep that on the stupidity.
Esteban said, I saw that article about Tank. Yeah, you know, that's between stupid people are going to do stupid shit. You know what I mean? If you let yourself in prison over a fucking piece of jewelry.
Well, you probably didn't mean to do it on purpose. You probably won't get in trouble. You know, it may have been the jeweler that let him go. But my question is, you're fighting probably for $500,000 purses right now.
Yeah, you
and
need to.
Not including taxes. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and you're gonna $100,000 piece of jewelry when you're only making $400,000.
About $500,000.
That's still 1/5 of your purse.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's like half because you haven't got taxed on it yet, right?
Yeah.
You ain't got taxed or paid management or paid anybody yet.
Yeah.
It's half your purse.
And you ain't writing off a $500,000
jewelry.
That's for the baby mama he slapped at the basketball game.
Shit.
Yeah.
Mike Letty, Paul Pena is watching.
So the big part, the quite thing was, how do you fight a volume puncher? And the guy came on, not knocking him. The group is cool, and the guy came on, and Dan Martinez says it's Kells. Yeah. Yeah, I told him, he said, well, you just make him miss, make him pay.
Yeah, right.
It don't work like that with a
volume puncher.
A volume puncher. And secondly, if you ain't got power and you're fighting a volume puncher, then you're really going to be in for a long night. To fight a volume puncher, you got to have the right foot placements at the right time, and you got to learn the timing to offset a volume puncher.
Can I mean who? Go ahead. You got to learn to punch in between punches.
That's what I mean. And foot placement is a big part of it too. Foot placement, because I'm not talking about dancing around or moving around. I'm talking about little shifts, because against a volume puncher, you could get hit a lot. You take those little shifts and you offset his momentum, and he has to reset, and it stops him from punching. And that's the biggest thing. And then also body shots.
Yep.
Work his body. You got to find ways to offset him and make him hesitate a little bit. It ain't going to be much because a volume puncher is just used to throwing punches, but that's one of your only ways.
Also, 9 times out of 10, volume punchers rarely punch off the back foot. They just don't train to punch that way. So if you want to really take advantage of a volume puncher, you want to back him up a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't punch as much when you're backing up. It's impossible to do. So if you can work behind a steady jab and a nice right hand to the body, he'll back up, and the punch rate will go down.
That's another thing. If you're not as gifted athletically to make those certain movements, that is the next step. You will have to go in and probably back him up and try to hit him. If you got power, it's a different ball game too.
But if you don't double that jab, triple that jab to the body, up top, and make your don't keep your punches the same. Make them all over different angles, different levels of punches, and you want to get that power puncher. You want to get that combination puncher backing up.
Another the biggest part is you got to make sure you're in shape to fight a volume puncher.
Good one, yeah.
You got to, because you got to be able to try to keep up countering.
Yep.
Uncle Sham says Trent goes 10:30 October 31st. Usyk, Chisero, DAZN, Santa Cruz, Tank Davis.
Yep.
Going to be a good Halloween. Oh fuck, yes it is.
Yep.
Can't wait.
We don't candy that day.
Uncle Sham says Zapita style, which is counters and combinations, kind of reminds me of Juan Manuel Marquez, except southpaw.
B says, I've noticed jabs of the body are good against the volume punches as far as throwing off the rhythm. And I said that too. You guys remember watching Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Every time he'd fight a volume puncher, he would start with that left jab to the body or that right to the body and start him right off, just throw him off the rhythm.
But Floyd also had those little moves, the subtle moves that had that offset a volume puncher too, and that makes it hard. If I'm over here throwing a lot of punches and you take a step over here, what do I got to do? Now I got to turn, reset, and try to start over.
And he's already firing again.
Yeah.
Got you. And that's the thing too. But that is right. Floyd would do that just to knock him off the rhythm early. That punch wasn't to hurt him. It was just to say, I'm coming forward, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and I just got caught to my body. I need to completely reset and figure out what I'm going to do because that shit just hurt.
Yep, exactly. Zapita style, which is counters and combinations, kind of reminds me of, I already read that. Damon says, where do you rank Leo Santa Cruz all-time volume puncher?
Probably in the top. I'd have to put him in the top 20.
A couple more fights.
Dude, there was a lot of volume punchers.
Yeah.
But maybe 15, somewhere in there, that 15 top 20.
I mean, he's still got some time left with Leo.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. He's a 3-time world champion. We got time. But we had some great volume punchers. You had guys like Barrera, Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales. Let's just not Finito Lopez. You had guys, Michael Carbajal,
Manny Pacquiao.
You know, Aaron Pryor.
Yeah, Aaron Pryor was huge.
I mean, we can.
But I may have to say Manny Pacquiao could probably be up there in the top. I mean, Manny threw.
Dude,
there wasn't much breaks that Manny took.
Can you argue that?
No, it's not arguable.
You know who else? Julian Jackson, volume punching, and also had power.
Hey, you know who else? Kelly Pavlik.
80 punches per round.
Uncle Sham, I think Regis Prograis is with PBC and El Heyman now.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they have at 140.
Taylor. Taylor is with top rank. I don't know. I don't honestly. For me to follow the promotions would take up a lot of time. I just kind of go, oh, he's with him now. Okay. What's up, Clarence? How you doing?
Uncle Sham says, word on the street is that Kelly is fighting the winner of Tyson versus Jones. Oh, that's not word on the streets.
That is a terrible word.
Mm.
Let me ask you this though. Here's a good one. If you had to fight one, I mean, if they said, Kelly, we got 10 million, but you pick the fighter, who you taking? Who you gonna fight?
How they are right now?
Right now, you just pick one of them.
Roy Jones.
I think that'd be more bothersome. I think you'd land. I don't know. I think you'd land solid on Tyson.
Well, the reason why I'm saying is
you'd beat Tyson's head up because dude. I think Roy's harder to land on.
No, Roy's 50 years old. 51.
Tyson's 55.
Roy wasn't even
49.
His last couple fights, slow moving.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think. I just think that. I think Tyson's the easier fight.
I'm telling you.
But it's your fight.
Tyson can still hit.
Yeah.
and I'm not going to be moving like Roy Jones either.
It's your fight, Kelly. I'm just trying to grease you up for the frying pan.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Nah, I take my chances with Roy.
I don't blame you.
Roy, his last couple of fights, even Hanshaw was in his ass, and Hanshaw was past the prime and shot. Didn't care about boxing, and
Hanshaw
gave Roy Jones a go.
That was a good fight, though. Hanshaw. Mm-hmm. I rooted for Tony.
Yeah.
PBC has Broner. Yeah, we know. Yeah, PBC has Broner.
Now Roy Jones, young Roy Jones and me now. Fuck no, Roy.
Esteban.
I'd have to stop and see if I'm fighting an octopus.
Esteban says, you guys ever hear the quality of Venom boxing gear is popular with Loma and some other former Soviet? Yeah, I've heard of Venom. Venom's not a bad gear. We get a lot of MMA guys using Venom. Me, if you're gonna go ahead and spend that kind of money, Esteban, on Venom, I would just go with Rival or something.
Mhm.
They're about the same. They're about the same price, but quality-wise, I think Rival's a lot better.
Soapboxing says, I'm training Rage's son now. It's Rage's son now.
Okay.
It's one-off. It's a one-off. But plans on future with PBC coach Derek Collinsworth.
That's cool.
Oh, cool, man.
That's good. Derek's a good dude. I like him.
Oh,
I
cool.
like Derek's a lot. I hear from him on here, and he's one of the better guys in the sport. Takes care of those kids. So hey,
That's
fuck
cool.
it. Kareem says he looked terrible in his last few fights. Well, to be fair, Mike looked terrible in his last few too.
Yeah, that's what Uncle Shan says. Tyson in his last fights almost 20 years ago looked worse than Roy Jones'
Sure.
fight 2 years ago.
Didn't somebody
Yeah.
name Danny McBride?
So that's my thing.
Somebody Danny McBride knocked him out. It was like 11-15 or something.
No, he knocked out Daniel Bryan.
Danny Williams. No, Danny McBride was. I got an arm like a fucking cannon.
Oh, he's funny. I just watched Due Date was on last night.
Dude, Brown State beat the Cowboys today.
No, he didn't. Again, Cowboys almost came back and
Did
won that.
they?
Yeah. It was
I
what
don't
was the score? 58,
I'm not bitching. My team, the Broncos, barely won their first game the other day. Fuck.
58, 40 or something like that. Or
Danny
no,
Mack and McGarvey, Joe Albrecht are watching with you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
40, 49, 41 or something like that.
Joe Albrecht says football's the best sport. Well, those who can't do watch.
Yeah. He must be bored or something.
Yeah, he is. From all the 495 bench pressing.
Yeah. We're talking boxing now, Joel.
He's fucking around. He's always fucking around.
Yeah. Oh, because he played football.
I know. Where?
He played
Where?
a little bit of high school.
Okay.
You leave my sport alone.
You leave that goddamn sport alone. That sport's one thing that comes out of football are gods.
Yeah.
Gods and demigods.
I did so much in high school. I should get a NFL ring, Super Bowl ring.
I was a high school Heisman Trophy winner. It's kind of like a regular Heisman Trophy winner, except I stand with my leg straight out instead of my arm. And Dick Butkus' great grandnephew gave it to me.
Oh.
Jesus Salgado says, watching with you, awesome. Boxing is the best sport. Clarence says that. Personally, guys, I think speed chess is the best sport, but we'll go
Okay.
boxing tonight.
Damon goes, name a fighter who could box and volume punch. Manny Pacquiao.
Marco Antonio Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Hector
Camacho.
Was it
Hector
Chavez?
Camacho.
Yes, Hector Camacho.
What?
More Chavez. I wouldn't really count Chavez as a volume
Only 60,
puncher.
70 punches around sometimes.
I think of volume. I'm thinking like
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
I would say young Camacho.
Oh yeah.
What about Aaron Pryor?
Pernell Whitaker.
Pernell Whitaker. Sometimes.
Early on.
Early on. Joel says, I like ass starts. Well, who doesn't? What do you, B says, what do you think of Beater Beef versus Beefall? Beefall read mentioned an article.
Joel, you need to go on. You need to go on to the YouTube one. I'm reading the YouTube.
Yeah.
Go on there and talk to me.
B who wants to know, what do you think of Beater Beef, Beefall? Personally, I like Beefall in the fight. I think he's just better
Yeah.
skilled. But that power of Beater Beef is amazing. So
I was
who
watching
knows?
a
Shit.
workout video of Better Beef, and geez, man, he was doing these things where his feet, he was like jumping off of his tip of his toes and his fist and palms, and he was switching it up the entire time. I got tired of watching that.
Sakura says, you two are so cute talking football. Yes, ma'am. Because right out of Sakura's cute. She's like a little pretty pony.
Mhm.
I just look at her. Look at her. She's like a little pretty pony.
Uncle Sham says, I think this Ruben Villa guy can upset Navarrete. He's pretty slick.
He was an Olympian,
Beat Shakur a couple of times.
He was
in
an
the
Olympian.
amateurs.
but that was the amateurs. Navarrete is a beast. He's a different kind of beast,
It's
man.
hard for me to see anybody.
Villa is good.
Is he in the same weight?
19? Yeah, 19 no,
Oh.
but no, Navarrete moved up to him.
Okay.
Villa's like 19 and 0, like 20 and 0.
See, that's the only thing.
Okay.
Now back at the weight that Navarrete was at,
He moved up one weight class, dude. Navarrete can carry that weight.
that could make a difference.
Navarrete, if not, Navarrete's gonna put a beating on that kid.
Yeah. Uncle Sham says Roman Gonzalez can box and volume punch. He got destroyed by the Thai guy though.
Yeah, because that kid knows how to punch between punches, and he knew how to back you up. He backed Chocolatito up.
Yeah, Trent Nonpareil says, "I like your chance against Ward. You'd beat Callum Smith. I bet Kelly. WBO belt at 175 is vacant as
He wants to be
well.
British.
I am not going
Because
to
you don't
fight.
think that you might go beat Callum, but you'd have problems with Ward. He's European. But hey, former world champ Paul Banky's on. Former WBC champ Paul Bank.
What's up?
Paul was a beast, man.
Oh yeah,
Sakura.
that's awesome.
She said, I've been called worse. No, you're Sakura's beautiful. What are you talking about? Navarrete was huge for 22 and 26 as high. I agree. Navarrete is huge. And I think at a certain point he could carry 130. Maybe.
Yeah, oh, it's all good, Trent. He goes, "Just kidding. Your career is legendary enough. Hope your wife keeps you on the food and desserts so you don't come back." Damn right, boy. I'm enjoying it right now.
Sure am.
I ain't got a diet. I can watch people diet.
Kim Hunter is watching. Loma versus Lopez. Champ, I'm taking Lomachenko. Who are you taking for the champ? Lomachenko or Lopez?
I can't make that prediction yet.
I made it. I want to have Loma by 12-round decision, but it's not going to be an easy fight.
I'm leaning towards Loma, but listen, again, I said this on Boxing Elite podcast the other day.
Yeah.
I said Tiafimo is that good too, though. Tiafimo could hit. He's probably the hardest puncher. It's definitely in a lightweight. And his hand speed is so fast. He's such a gifted boxer.
What?
So it just makes it hard right now because of that.
What do you think about him saying that he would like to fight Loma, move up and fight guys like Virgil Ortiz at welterweight?
I say slow to roll though. Leave Virgil alone. Virgil is 147.
And a big 47, not a little 47.
If Virgil was a smaller 140, then there's talks of it. He's at 147. He's big.
He's 5'54". This kid is.
Yeah.
And then I understand what Tiafimo's coming on. He's just saying, look, I'm confident enough to beat anybody.
If Virgil could stay at 47 and Tiafimo slowly works his way up and gets acclimated to these weight classes, then now you got to fight. Like, don't get me wrong on that. That Tiafimo is that good.
Yeah.
But you're saying that after fighting Lomachenko at 135 that you're going to jump to fight Virgil Ortiz at 47?
Yep.
I give him credit, balls, man. But
Esteban says, do you guys see any correlation between the pro fighters that that took care of themselves in regards to fitness after they retired to as opposed to the ones that let themselves go? I see a little bit mentally. Like mentally, you see like if they stayed in shape through their career, they're a little bit mentally, they're cognitively, they're a little bit better sometimes. You know what I mean? The ones that didn't let themselves go. I mean, it's not always, but the ones that I've seen that stayed in shape through their career, they seem to. I don't know. They don't seem to have as many issues. You know what I mean? They're not walking without limps and.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I see both. I mean,
look, I walk into a place and I see Jesse James Leha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I walk in and see James Toney. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
And I mean, it's that one that takes care of himself, and one
Yeah.
or go into a place and look at guys like
I've seen guys that take care of themselves that it just hits.
Oh yeah.
It all depends. It's all on the person.
But I mean, any correlation? I think medically, you're better off being in shape after a career.
Absolutely. I mean, that goes for the boxing or not. Ricky, hold on. I got some good ones here.
All right.
Uncle Shan says Haney is fighting Gamboa. That's a trash matchup. Trash matchup. They can't find anyone better for Haney.
I think it puts a name for Haney. Haney needs a name on that resume.
I know, but Gamboa.
I agree.
Gamboa has been used up, man.
Yeah, but nobody had that same type of energy when Gamboa fought fucking Tank, though, did they?
Mm-hmm. Trent says, yeah, I was watching Tio spar Ugas the other day, and Lopez was catching him clean.
Yep. Yuri said it takes a lot more than being a great puncher to beat Loma. That's absolutely 100% true.
Who, what?
It takes more than being a great puncher to beat Loma. That's absolutely true. Yuri's exactly right. You need everything and the kitchen sink and every bit of smarts you ever got.
Go back to that. You need some other extra hands.
You need every Mr. Miyagi skill that he ever told you, and more to beat him. You need to resurrect Emmanuel Stewart, Ray Arcel, Mr. Miyagi, and have them all in your corner.
Yeah. Joel, Ricky the Goat Pavlik would have been the best if he didn't go to the Navy. I hear he's at the show tonight. You should bring the goat on. No,
He's over having barbecue across the street.
you're not. Come on.
Caleb says, I just wish I could trade more. Caleb, I don't want to hear that wish shit. If you want to fight bad enough, you'll fucking do it. I always want to, everybody wants to wish. They wish. No, do this shit.
Yeah, Caleb, you can do it, bro.
You get off at work 1 in the morning, you start training at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yep.
He's strong, man. He's a tough kid.
A young kid. Still has a career in front of him. Sakura says, glad Gamboa getting these paydays. So I'm happy anytime a fighter gets a payday.
Yeah.
This is a rough sport.
I mean, hey, listen, he's ballsy. He's still taking these fights.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So going back on it, talking about like long term, Gamboa right there. Those are the reasons why that happens. And people can't now. If Gamboa would have retired 3 years ago, when I think he should have. Yeah. Oh well, he retired way too soon. And now in 2 years from now, you guys are going to be going. Oh, not you guys, but people in general are going to be going. Oh well, he probably should have retired 3 years ago. So it's never a no-win situation for a fighter. It's not. I mean, you can't win.
Sakura just set us up. What's the best thing you ever ate in your life? Oh, shit. What do you smell like, Sakura? No. No, I'm just... The guy with the... No, never mind. Forget that. Calm down. You know what? Can you think... What was the best buffet we ever had? Let's just go back. Let's break that down.
I'm going to say my favorite is Bayside Buffet.
Over there in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty
Mandalay Bay.
Was that the one we went to, the French one? We went to that one too. But we went to the French buffet too at the Paris, right?
Yeah, and we went, I believe, MGM.
Yeah, we went to the Rios Carnival, right?
It might have been.
Yeah. Scott says, I wish I wasn't so lazy. Chico's watching.
Damon says, is Devin Haney self-promoting doing more damage to his career than good? I think so. I think anytime a fighter promotes himself, listen.
You saw what Gary Russell self-promoting does.
You've seen how many fighters, I mean, Cotto has a promotional company. And I understand he's retired, but he still split promotes because they have to be with one of these big promotional groups. A lot of these guys that Matt Pacquiao promotes, but he still fights under Top Rank. Yeah. Mayweather, if he did not make almost $1 billion in the ring, he would be struggling himself. De La Hoya is the only one who I think really brought very smart guys behind him, businessmen that kind of was in this business before, and he brought them in.
He brought a fucking bank from Sweden with him, dude. He brought a bank from Switzerland, right?
Either or, so
yeah.
And that's why Golden Boy Promotions are able. But for a fighter to promote themselves, Devin Haney, I like him. He's a great kid. He's a great fighter. But he don't have the marketing behind him like Floyd Mayweather did. Yeah. And when Floyd was doing it, he could promote himself. But when Devin Haney, it's going to hurt him.
Yeah. Darren says, I think Gamboa is a good step up for Haney. They gave him the belt, but he's still on the prospect. I do. And I don't know. I'd rather see Haney step up a little bit, fight somebody else besides Gamboa. It's not good for Gamboa. B says Haney hasn't shown he is the part yet. He's one side as people are making it. I don't know. Haney is really good. I've seen a lot of Haney is good.
Yeah, he is.
Yuri says, did you guys see Zepeda Barnacek last night? It was the fight of the year. I'm going to agree right now. It's probably fight of the year or Nonito and anyway, one of the two.
Chico McChico, Kevin from Chicago says.
Yep.
Self-promoting is only bad when it's by getting arrested like Broner. Did Broner get arrested when he did that self-promoting?
I don't know. He did a lot of stuff. Shit.
Oh, you're talking about outside the ring when he's trying.
Yeah. That's one question for you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you bought that boxing afforded you, a luxury that without boxing you probably wouldn't have bought? Goddamn, Harvey.
Everything.
Mission barbecue.
Yeah, I wasn't getting that. I wasn't getting half that shit that I got. But on the flip side, at Esteban is spending the right way. Did I do some stupid spending? Yeah, but here's the difference. Okay, when I would do that, I would get a call from my financial advisor, and they would say, and like my financial advisor now, Josh. I'll go and I'll buy something, I'll spend it on something, and he'll call and he'll say, dude, what the fuck? Like something crazy. I'm not talking about going to spend $5,000 or this. I'm talking about something that is up there. And he'll be like, dude, whoa, what, why? And then he'll say, dude, come on, tone it down. Me, I go, shit, okay, I'll tone it down. And then you let them do their job and keep everything going. So you have to pay attention. Like you can't just go out and spend $500,000. If you made 5 million, listen to me. I'm gonna explain to all you guys. 5 million does not mean at 5 million that you're really able to fall in that part where you should go spend 500,000. That's stupid. $500,000 on a piece of jewelry. You don't have the money like that with even at $5 million. You don't, and that's true. And any smart financial advisor will tell you that, especially if you're buying bigger homes and nicer cars and you're going out gallivanting. I mean, you can't do that shit. So there's a lot more to it.
Sakura says, I've been missing fights because there was little to no advertising. Right, Sakura. And I think the best place to get advertising is right there locally. I think for a lot of the younger podcasts, a lot of people, they shoot for these big advertisers right away. And there's so many of us. And I would shoot for the local people, and sometimes not enough, but it's enough to get you to a fight or so, Sakura says, I love when Kelly breaks down the paydays. You know what? I love it too because no other show breaks them down because they don't have fighters they don't know anybody who's in the business that's made the money to.
The fucking people out. That's all I'm doing.
They don't know the fighter that's made that kind of money and how to spend it.
Yeah. Trent says, Haney apparently didn't make weight for his last fight and is going up in weight. Haney was getting worked by Joe Laws in sparring.
That's sparring.
And you know what? Haney may have had a bad day. Haney may have ran 4 miles that morning. Haney may have sparred, might have been 2 to 4 rounds into it and sparred. You can't go by sparring. It's totally different. Different ball.
You know what Devin Haney may have been doing? Working on his own game plan or something new that he's never worked on, and then that guy's just throwing punches. It's a different world, man.
Kevin from Chicago. Who is the best Polish boxer of all time?
Andrew Golota.
You got to put that up there. Who's that? This new one, that Adam Kokronsky or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he lost it. Oh, yeah. That kid. No, Kanalki? He retired. He just lost retired.
Damon,
hey, look at that.
Ask James.
Kevin said, James, he said, James, are you drinking Tahitian Tree? Yes, I am.
What is it?
Tahitian Tree. I got it on the way home. It was 99 cents.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What do you, B. Liberty said, what do you both think of Showtime as leveraging pay-per-view to offset spending or budget this year? Charlos were guaranteed only $1 million apiece, as opposed to Loma or Bud being guaranteed the $4 million. I can tell you this, B, and I have it from pretty solid source. Pretty solid source, though. We just talked to him. Al Heyman, for the most parts, and don't go crazy, guys. I'm just telling what I'm told. Al Heyman, for the most parts, he puts the fighters that he really loves on Fox, and he puts the fighters that he has that he really don't like on Showtime. So those guys on Showtime make a little less than the guys on Fox do. And that's coming from the best fucking source from that.
Still ain't bad though.
No.
I mean, it could be fighting on the Spanish channel.
No, you're not fighting on. You fought on Bongo before. Remember Bongo?
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying is, Al will do that. Al puts his favorite on Fox. He puts his not so favorites on Showtime.
Well, that's a couple things I want to go into. First of all, Uncle Sham said Charlo pay-per-view only sold about 100K. Yeah, listen, these fighters have to understand boxing right now, which I really wanted to get into. Boxing right now, I have a hard time watching it. I really have a hard time. Okay, I'll go back like we talked a little bit last week. You sit there for 5 hours and I had to watch a so-so undercard and then Charlo. And then after that, I had to watch 45 minutes of two guys doing, however, I don't know who they know or who they have on somebody, what info they have on somebody to be able to get on Showtime with their podcast and talk. Nice guys. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying the podcast, you could get better people than that, that know the sport. Yeah. And then you had the next card, and it was like 4.5 hours where you're glued to so-so fights, and then you just wait for Charlos, which weren't even that great of fights. The money's not out there, so these fighters got to take what they could get. You mentioned about Showtime and Fox. Even Showtime is still going to pay out more than your other networks.
Yes, but Fox
Not
is-
that bad. Fox is big right now, but Fox is probably getting hit. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure to see the numbers, but so it is like you gotta, if you get offered $2 million to fight somebody, you should grab that up right now because
it's not there.
it's not really out there.
Well, to answer B's question too, B, you know, a lot of that, the fighters do that to themselves. And I know we're going to say, oh, the Charlos only offered guaranteed $1 million apiece as opposed to Loma or Bud. Honestly, ask yourself, who's better at selling a fight, the Charlos or Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez? Right now, the Charlos, and I'm not hating on them, I see an upside. But other than this past week, who have they fought in that top 20
That's what I'm saying.
that says they deserve $1 million? They haven't fought anybody.
You gotta remember, you gotta go out, like the boxing world is small. I mean, it's a very small group of people, and those are the ones that are really buying the fights. Okay, the crossover, the people who are going, you know what, I want to watch a good fight tonight. How about the Lomachenko and Crawford name is a little more recognizable right now than the Charlos names. So again, it's not a bad thing. It's not a cut to the Charlos. That'd be like me getting mad when I was on top, winning all the world titles and having 3 world titles and everything else. But like me sitting there going, well, how come I ain't getting paid as much as Floyd Mayweather? Well, let me tell you the difference. And I knew it even at that point. I sold for the second rematch with Jermaine Taylor like close to 300,000 pay-per-views. Okay? No, I think it was actually lower, in the low 2s. When you got Floyd Mayweather selling 800, 900,000 pay-per-views, okay, that's why he makes what he does, and that's why I made what I made.
Yep.
It is what it is, and these fighters got to realize, like, you get your worth, and if you're not bringing the money to the promoters, if you're selling only 100,000 pay-per-views, chances are you're going to get paid for 100,000 pay-per-views.
And another thing, when the average fan, I'm not talking about us hardcore fans. I'm not talking about these guys, people on here. When you're, what do we call them, Friday night beer fan, looks on TV, what do they see from the Charlos? They see attitude, bullshit fights. They see arguments. They see that turns a lot of people off. They're like, hey, these guys, they're arrogant assholes, and that's how they see it. They're not going to pay for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you
sell yourself that way. But when you see
Floyd was like that a little bit, but
Floyd wasn't threatening whole arenas and having to be walked out by the LAPD either, was he?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't see that. That really don't make the news. We do.
We see it. A lot of people see, and they see the Charlos on stage. They see the way they're so combative and argumentative with everybody. You know what I mean?
I honestly, I get what you're saying, but I don't think 200,000 people see that. I think the diehard boxing fans that read, and a diehard boxing fan don't give a shit because they're going to watch that fight no matter what.
And that's why he only sold 100,000 because the diehards watched it. But you got guys that aren't fighting anybody. The biggest name of most of the resume was Erickson Lubin back, and then this past week, and they just haven't stepped it up, or the other middleweights have.
There's some good questions there on there. Uncle Shannon says, does 2008 Kelly Paladin beat Jamal Charlo? I think so.
Pretty fucking easy.
The reason they had that pay-per-view, or what do you think about the dominance of UFC? Matthew asked.
The dominance of it.
I don't see it dominating, but it is definitely doing a little better because it branched out. It hits different networks. It crosses over to mainstream, and they put big fights on. But when you have a guy like Dana White, who's pretty much in monopoly of it, you could do that. There's no real rival, no other promoter out there that he's going against. He can match those fights the way he wants to, and the top guys, he's getting all the benefit from it.
And also, you got to remember, too, what the UFC guys did is they oversaturated the market. You were getting UFC fights 3 or 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Boxing, you don't get that. They're just not, boxing's the type of people like, we'd rather make you wait 3 weeks or 3 months for a $3 million fight, or instead we can fight every week for a $100,000 fight.
Yep. Jake Miller goes, on Kelly's undercard point, you see worse boxing. In MMA, you can have less skilled but more diverse, fun styles to make up for lesser skill and entertain regardless. And I agree. They as we just said now, they match make better.
Well, and the thing is, I don't know about less skill because them dudes on the ground are fucking monsters. They're nightmares. But
that people don't realize.
they don't realize
that.
how hard that is. Sakura said Charlos did lose a lot of fans of the J Rock fight. I agree. And Gina is watching. Yes, indeed.
Kevin, I did not see that. I have not caught much of UFC. Did you see that?
No, I didn't get to see it.
Blacko Wicks?
No, the UFC fighters still don't get paid shit. And as so 700,000 pay-per-views, and Bull Charlo still made more than him. It's true, they don't. But the way that the UFC fighters make their money is this: they make it on their bonuses, and they make it because they fight more times a year.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see guys like Cerrone, like Cowboy Cerrone, fight what 8-9 times a year at $200,000 to $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
He's making money. I mean, with Matt Brown made mostly close to $200,000 a fight or more, and he was fighting 4 or 5 times a year. You don't have to do much more when you're fighting like that. They're taking the long road as opposed to the high, and just what boxing can do. And
I agree. Uncle Sham says Tyson versus Roy Jones is going to be the best-selling boxing pay-per-view this year. It's probably going to break a lot of numbers.
And I don't care. We watch it though.
Yeah. Damon says, is a new heavyweight division still in the works, and is it a beneficial move? I think it's a new heavyweight division. I don't know how much it's going to do for boxing, because you're going to get the guys that go, I don't watch boxing no more. The heavyweight division is not the same. Well, how the hell can you say that if you don't watch boxing no more?
That means they don't know boxing.
Yeah, how can you say that boxing ain't the same anymore when you watch guys like Crawford and Haney and Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez and Virgil Ortiz and Ryan Garcia and all and Shakur Stevenson? How can you say that about boxing, that they're not as good if you don't watch it no more? And when these guys are actually way more technical and skilled than ever before. I'm sorry, they are.
Your fighter's father's asking a question.
Who?
Why are they saying female boxers crossing over are getting paid more money? Because they are.
They are. They're actually one of the big things right now. Oh, by the way, I'm teamed up with 53 Sports and Entertainment, and I'm helping out with that. I'm a part of them with Jerry Briscoe, who was big time with WWE.
Yeah.
He actually got Hulk Hogan, a lot of big names, Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
And one of the big things with the young fighter right now, I'm not going to say female fighter, is the interest is she could box. She beat Clarissa Shields. She could fight. And she's looking at turning pro. She can't get a promoter, which I think we could get her a promoter. And I think that's big. But also we're looking to move her the WWE way.
Yeah.
Here's an athletically talented, great fighter, well-spoken, pretty woman who can make that crossover. And why not? Why should she just get paid to get beat up in boxing when she's going to make peanuts? People don't understand when female fighters make that.
They don't even make that of a purse.
Yeah. Why do that when she could cross over? Maybe that could be something that sparks the female boxing. She goes over to WWE, gets big, and now those WWE fans come over because they're fans of her, and they start watching her fight in boxing.
The problem is with some people is this: you can tell them 100 times that female fighters don't make any money, and they're going to argue with 101 about that female fighters do make money.
Yeah.
Let's put it. Here's how I say it: if my son's 23-0, right, and he's making $150,000, okay, I have a daughter who's 23-0, and she's making $7,000. Do I want to see my daughter take the same beating as my son for? No, I don't want to see it.
But on the flip side of that, I agree. But if the girl wants to do, like, I'll train a little Zion, she wants to do it, and that's her goal, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to help her every which way possible. But I think that for these female fighters to be compensated what people think they should be paid, I think like what we're doing with this young female, or if we get her, we're still trying to get her signed. If she goes with us, that path where she could make that money, and that could be the shot in the arm for even female boxing. Yeah. Now she starts grabbing all these UFC fans or WWE fans or whatever wrestling group that's in wrestling, even WCW and the lower ones, they have a big draw. Yeah. That's what it's all marketing. It's all it is.
When it comes to the sport, you have to be realistic. is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you gonna put your son or daughter's life in danger for not making shit? You know what I mean? When they could make the same money, they can make the same money as an engineer, basically, as what that female fighter is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm asking
Yeah,
myself. Am I gonna
I
put her
don't-
through that when they're making 7,000, 10,000 a fight, and your top fighters maybe making 30?
I don't know. It all comes down. It all comes down to the fighter, the female. If that's their goal.
I'm talking about me as a father managing my whatever
Yeah.
you do with their kids, that's fine. If they want their kids fucked up, that's fine. What I'm saying, if they're not, that has to be worth their effort. It has to be worth the time. Boxing's not part of UNICEF. It's not a charity.
Mhm.
You would none of these guys here would have their sons at 23-0 would take a fight for $5,000.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it. They'd say fuck you. But these parents and these managers are taking it for a female because they want to grab any bit of money they can grab.
I understand.
They want to grab any cent they can off of them.
I agree with where you're coming from on that. The point, but there's other avenues too that where you could where it could turn out good.
Not every other, but what else?
What I'm saying is, if as far as marketing,
That's
another way.
one person. What about female fighters as a whole? Not everybody's marketing.
Yeah, I know. That's
Some of them motherfuckers look like they've been hit by trucks.
Oh,
No, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Not every male fighter is marketable, right?
no.
Is Devin Haney doing underwear commercials anytime soon? No. Come on now. You know what I mean?
Don't talk to me like you just say that.
I'm telling you the truth, though, man. Is Gabriel Sada doing plastic surgery commercials? How to keep
No.
it clean? No. You gotta dance with who brought you. You know what I mean?
Jake Miller says, "Yeah, UFC contracts demand each fighter get 3 fight offers per year. Thing about UFC fighter pay is it means that they aren't divas like in boxing."
Shit. How many UFC fighters have you worked with?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers are.
You got to remember the UFC. I think they still are now. I'm not sure how that works, but I think these UFC fighters get more sponsors than boxing, though. I think they
They're
cut
not
that
allowed
out.
to have them.
Wow.
No, Reebok cut that shit out
Well, why did Reebok cut it out?
because UFC took Reebok as the only choice of sponsors. They have no sponsors. That was why Stitch left. Stitch left UFC. He got fired because he started complaining because Stitch couldn't whore himself out with 300,000 patches like a race
Well,
car.
and I don't blame him. I mean, but
he wanted to look like a NASCAR.
so these other fighters
they
cannot.
cannot do it.
Oh man.
They make their money. They can only wear Reebok.
Oh.
That's where their problem is. Dana White took all that from them. JJ says, do you guys think in the future all women fighting to make a difference will pay off later from crossovers and advocacy? I don't think so.
I think if you market it the right way, I don't think women boxing is ever going to be to the point of male boxing, but I think that they could get more of a draw, and these girls could eventually get paid more. But again, as I'm saying,
Yeah.
crossing them over into maybe kind of like the Maya St. John thing,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the Holly Holm, or
Yeah. Even Holly wasn't making money like that.
no, but I'm just saying it's so like I'm talking about with this girl. She goes over to WWE or WCW or whatever organization, and she's able to garner like 50,000 fans or 100,000
Okay.
fans, and you still have some of the boxing people. That's still more than what she had, and she's going to probably at that point get paid maybe 75, 100,000 because she's marketing and is helping the women's boxing again.
You're talking about one beta fish in a pool.
I agree, but it all starts with one. It all starts with something that attracts, that pulls people back into the female boxing. I think that's what female boxing needs. They need something like that to pull
Well,
people back
as
in.
much as I love female boxing, because I don't mind it, I love it. I've always
Yeah, I do
liked it.
too.
But the thing is this: they've tried the experiment since the early '90s, and it still hasn't caught on. They have tried it. There's just something about boxing. Some of these fans are so fucking hard-headed. They are. They're stuck in their head, where nobody's as good as '70s and '80s fighters. Nobody's good as '60s fighters. Strength and conditioning is bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
Strength and conditioning is bullshit. Sakura says it right here. Some of these people think fighting 2 times a year isn't good enough for old school boxing, and she's right. They get these stuck in their
Yeah.
head, and they don't want to see their wives or girlfriends in a ring. You know what I mean? It's ignorant thinking, and that's what's holding the sport back.
Exactly.
But I personally, as a father, would not subject my daughters to that kind of beating for the money they're not making. Knowing I have a son, I can have a son that can make 150,000 for 23 fights, as opposed to 7,000 for 23
It's
fights.
hard, man. It is. It's a touchy thing.
After she pays everybody.
I would like to see. I mean, I'd like to be a part of trying to get women boxing big.
Yeah.
I really would. Uncle Shannon says Kate Taylor versus Amanda Serrano is the best female boxing fight that can be made now.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what you're working with right now.
And that's your betas. That's your betas in the giant pond.
Jake Miller, Tyson Fury sponsoring Hanes underwear. Laugh out loud. Will not sell product. Baker Mayfield silencing the haters. One game at a time. Haha.
Who's that?
That's Kevin from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Also, so the Mexican American linebacker Sendejo show out.
Nobody was talking about the same thing last week, though. That's crazy.
What's that?
I was talking about the Browns last week when they lost.
Oh, they won last week.
Did they win last week?
Yeah.
When they lost
They're
again?
3-1, man. Let them go. Let them live this.
Fuck them.
Let us have this.
Hey, until my Broncos are 3-1, I'm not done. They never happened.
3-1. Now, granted, we beat, or they beat. I'm saying we. The Browns beat the Redskins, and they beat Cincinnati.
You guys talking about this is awesome. It really is. Thank you for guys support too many females. Look, here's my thing. If you have a daughter who fights, and she loves doing it, more power to you. It's love of the sport. You know what I mean?
It is. Well, it's
But-
it helps.
Hey, it's a love of the sport, and who the fuck am I to say, hey, if you don't love sport, not to follow it? How many of us do it as amateurs? But when you get to that crossroads, and I'm saying it, when you get to that crossroad where it says professional college, professional university, I'm gonna tell her to go right. And if you want to pick want to pick a pro fight here and there, go ahead. But let's focus on that. Let's focus on that law school baby girl.
My job is, as well, I'm not officially a trainer yet, but I'm working, with little like Zion and people like that. My job is to make her as good as possible, and she's working and she's coming, putting time in. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It is, guys, and that's why I keep saying, like, you got the crossover thing has to happen.
If Zion was a boy, she'd be a 3-time national champ right now, and she'd be on every fucking cover of every news article. How much you want to bet?
Because it's there.
Because she's a boy.
Yeah,
and that's the truth. She'd be on every cover. She'd be on the Ring magazine.
Yeah, I mean, it's the unfortunate part of it.
She'd be Kelly Pavlik, the next Kelly. You know what I mean?
It says, like, Square Table goes, sexism will always exist too in boxing. A lot of guys won't watch or ever take seriously a woman's boxing.
That's what I said. Yeah, they won't.
And it's unfortunately the truth. I mean,
you gotta remember, most of these guys are 60 pounds overweight, sitting in their underwear, telling you can't throw a jab correctly.
Yeah.
So, do you expect anything more?
And it happens. I mean, and it happens on the flip end of it. I mean, there's a lot of women that won't watch football or boxing.
Yeah.
They don't want to, be a part of it. They don't want to see it, and they think it's barbaric and brutal, and they don't like it.
True or false? Kelly Pavlik's life story would be great on boxing film. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool, Esteban. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, write a story about your motherfucking life.
It's boring. I don't want to watch it. Scott says, I would like to see me a St. John box. Well, you can go on Playboy and watch old Playboy video. She was on Playboy magazine in '99.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
No, I'm just saying.
Dude, do you know what it was like when I had met her and she was rubbing my shoulder? Oh my God. I was like, oh God.
I'll tell you another one. Like, you have women like, okay, who I love. I think she's the sweetest lady in the world, but like Chrissy Martin.
Chrissy Martin's awesome.
And what a fighter. What a fighter. And I think, she's tried. A lot of people have tried to bring it up. And the thing about what I do love, Chrissy Martin ain't known in boxing as like the female.
She got pretty early years though, did she?
No, she's beautiful, but she didn't get popular as a women's boxer either. Like when you go, all the world champions, when you go to the International Boxing Hall of Fame, when you go to the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, everybody in a boxing world says she's a great fighter.
She is.
And that's what I love to hear. That's cool. Things like that is.
Isaac Bentecourt said, what are your thoughts on Michaela Mayer? Love her. I think she's a fantastic fighter. I would like to see her move a little quicker. I like to see her Michaela Mayer.
Okay.
House Fighter.
Oh, okay.
I like to see her move a little quicker, but she's doing good. Michaela's good. She was one of those girls on the Olympic team I really liked.
Square Table says, I love how you knew the exact year, James.
I was in Kosovo that year. What do you think? And I knew her personally. Do you know how many miles I put in that magazine?
How many miles you put on in the third?
Put on that magazine. I knew her personally though. Like I had met her before the magazine. I was like, holy shit.
Vonda Ward was epic in Cleveland back in the day.
Vonda Ward was 6'6", man, and Ann Ward nearly killed her, didn't she?
And Wolf.
Ann Wolf nearly killed her. So of course said, oh, they want to see it, Kelly. And then as much as I have that Playboy episode, Typing for a Friend, probably with female boxing, it's there no marketing, but for one female at weight class, Christine's boxing royalty, yes, for Philip. So there is never a dance partner. That's the problem, Sakura. They're stars, but there's not the second one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not enough to, and even them stars didn't make a lot of money. They didn't.
I think
even MMA has the most of the bed moments and hit pieces only come out when women get injured.
Yeah.
When men get their faces reappeared, no reaction. Rearranged, no reaction.
No, true.
Clarissa Shows has been calling out Grandma Layla Ali. Yeah, I don't know why on that either.
Because Clara gets an easy paycheck. Well, you thought I was going to say something, didn't you? I did not. I said just an easy paycheck. Clarissa, you know what? It's a new generation of Twitter and a new generation. They just talk stupid shit. You got Gary Russell, you got the Haneys, you got Ryan Garcia Jr., you got Clarissa. They just talk shit on social media all day. That is more exciting than
How does
actual
that work
fighting.
for retired boxers? Can we maybe get a
Dude,
career?
of course. There's a bunch of them on there.
Get a career and
What's that one dude that like hangs from Tyson's nuts? He has like 17 losses and he wore like WWE boots and he tells you about your career. Remember him?
oh yeah,
He wore WWE boots to a boxing match.
but it don't help us.
He has like 17 losses, but he tells everybody about their careers. Like,
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? He
yeah.
didn't even know.
That's kind of fun. I like that.
Can you imagine wearing Hulk Hogan boots if you're a boxer? That's epic. But
Hey,
JJ says, I think real change comes from you guys hitting serious topics like these and standing up for females. You guys are creating change here. I don't know. Change is from the people with the pocketbooks.
Yeah, we're trying though.
We're trying,
We're bringing
man.
awareness to it.
It's awareness, but it comes from these fans. You know what I mean? That demand that shit. When you guys say, hey, put that girl on the card. You know what? When Zion goes to the Nationals this year in Louisiana, make sure people don't get up and fucking leave. Make sure they sit there and watch these girls fight.
Exactly.
Don't get up and get their nachos.
Yep. Did you see Julio Cesar Chavez quit again? I did hear about that.
Yeah, of course. His dad did better than he did. His dad fought Arce again.
Yeah, he says who won that?
I think it was Chavez.
Charity.
It was Charity.
Yeah, Chavez Senior should get a paternity test.
He was on cocaine, man. It didn't count.
That's funny.
I
Horrible.
currently have a Golden Glove champ for South Carolina that's a female. Would you recommend getting her involved in MMA? Is there a bigger draw for female fighters in UFC and Bellator?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. But, I mean, what level Golden Glove champ is she, Isaac? Is she a regional? Is she a state? Is she a national? Yeah, Golden Glove.
Is a matter of fact, does she win a U.S. championship though?
Yeah, because
that's kind of bigger. The Golden Gloves is not really that. I mean, it is, but it's not like. Did she win the PAL tournament? Did she win the U.S. championships?
Yeah, because when I hear Golden Gloves, until I hear national PAL, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, you know,
or U.S. champion.
Are you local, regional, state? You know what I mean? Do you remember those little tiny local tournaments? You get the little Golden Glove, and then when you win, and then the gold paint would come off them, and your neck would turn green.
Cleveland, we got some
motherfuckers will still wear those when they're 60 years old. Like,
hey,
yeah.
Not until you get to regionals.
In Cleveland, we got the medals in the regionals, and in state in Cleveland, we got the big ass trophy. Man, I got some big ones.
Yeah. Oh, in California, you get the actual gloves, like New York, but those gloves are real gold. You know what I mean? You win those motherfuckers. They come in a little velvet bag. It look like a little Crown Royal bag.
I wanted Golden Gloves.
They did. Like a white or green velvet bag, and your Golden Gloves came in those.
Did you guys talk about Logan Paul Mayweather yet?
No.
Is that going to
but
happen?
I heard it was. I heard it was going to happen. Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Why not? Fuck
He
it.
goes, doesn't Logan Paul weigh 50 more pounds than Mayweather?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mayweather's
And he's
still gonna beat his ass.
and Floyd's still going to put it on him. You know what though? On a personal thing, I do like Logan Paul. He's nice. He's a
I
nice
do,
guy.
yeah.
He was really nice to my daughter. He sent her a T-shirt and he fucking gave her a shout out. Who you got? Chavez Jr. or Billy Idol?
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. I'm gonna take Billy. Oh,
Billy
she has a state title. I don't know. You have to.
That could be one fight.
Yeah, you have to. Isaac, you have to ask yourself this: is other than boxing all she has? Because if that, you need to get a base for her, and that's not boxing. Boxing is not a good base for MMA. A good base is wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or judo. One of those. That's your base. Everything you should work supplement off of that. So striking will supplement off that. You know, if you're judo, jiu-jitsu supplements off that. Everything's a supplement to that. But you need those three bases. You need one of those bases to be successful. You'll never have it. You don't have one MMA guy that says, I'm a professional boxer and that's it.
Yeah.
You're going to last about 5 seconds in there.
Well, we can start
That should be
wrapping
about
up.
it, sucker.
It is. Let's wrap it up. It's a great show, guys.
Great show, guys. Thank you
we're
for
back
watching.
in the studio. It goes a lot smoother when we do that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Justin ain't
know.
got to fuck around with
Fuck around and find out.
people in Columbus or Cleveland and Youngstown, and it's nice. Nice to be back in the studio.
I know. And Sakura showed up. I'm happy about that. She's awesome.
But have a good week, guys. Tune in,
Next
subscribe, share,
Hit that little dingly thing.
hit that dingle thing, that
Hit
bell,
Hit that dingly thing.
dingling,
Huckleberry?
Now,
dingling.
hit that little clip thing.
Hit the bell.
Is it, what is that thing called?
That YouTube G spot.
That little that YouTube G spot. That'll do it. It rings pennies from heaven.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wayne
Score Table
Sharp.
said being in the studio so better. He goes, I'm done with virtual shows myself. Yeah. it's
Kevin, thank you, homie. Hey, it's about this time of the year. Kevin's going to come back to Youngstown. He comes back every December.
tough. Oh, hell yeah.
He comes back every December. We go to Waffle House and hit on waitresses.
Waffle Height.
Hey.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
Have a good week.